1 cup of buttermilk, 1 cup of freshly brewed coffee, which I have cooled to room temperature, 2 cups of granulated sugar, a half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of cocoa powder, and I am using Dutch processed cocoa powder in my recipe today, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 eggs, a half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and our last ingredient, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. For our first step, I'm going to get all of my granulated sugar into a large bowl. To that, I'm going to add in my oil, and then I'm going to grab my hand mixer, and I just want to start incorporating these 2 first ingredients. And then we'll start adding in our eggs. You can see right away with the addition of that first egg how it starts creaming. Get them all in. And it's at this point where you want to really get all of this really well combined. I'm going to increase my mixer. Get my mixer on high now. Make sure everything's mixed well. Okay, that looks good. All nicely combined. And then I'm going to add in our buttermilk and our coffee. Grab our mixer again. Speed number 1. We don't want everything flying out of our bowl. And just slowly start mixing all of this together. Now if you don't want to use the coffee, you still want to use the same amount of liquid. So you're going to use 1 cup of water. You could exchange that for a cup of milk if you wished as well. And now we'll mix in our dry ingredients. So I'm going to start off with our cocoa powder, and then our flour, our little bit of salt, our baking soda, and our baking powder. And the baking soda is going to activate with the buttermilk that's in this recipe. I'm going to get all of this in here. And then I'm going to grab the back of a spoon, and I just want to push all of this through. And this is a really good example of why you want to sift your ingredients, because you don't want larger particles like that getting into your batter. So it's always good to sift. Perfect. And I'm going to grab my mixer one last time. Speed number 1. And I do not want to overwork my batter. I just want to slowly get all of this incorporated. And that looks good. And now we are ready to fill our pan. And by the way, I do have my oven preheated already to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. What I have here are 2 baking pans. Each of them are 9 inches in diameter by 2 inches high. They are lined with parchment paper just so that we can get our cake out much easier after we've baked them. So we're going to start filling this up. And I'm going to divide the batter evenly between the 2. And make sure that you do use a spatula. You want to make sure that you get all of your cake batter right out of your bowl. You don't want to waste any of this. And this smells amazing. I wish you could be here. It smells really, really good. And there we go. So at this point, I'm going to pop these into my oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to bake them about 25 minutes. So here's our first one. I'll get my other one, and these have been out for about 3 minutes or so, but they're still extremely hot. So before I forget, I did leave these in an extra 5 minutes, so total bake time 30 minutes in my 350 degree Fahrenheit oven. And just to go over the pan dimensions again, these are 9 inches in diameter by 2 inches high. And these are exactly the same pans, and they are made by Wilton. So this is about 15 minutes later, and I almost forgot to do this on camera, but I'm just gonna grab a tiny spatula and just go around. I just wanna break these from the tin, and I wanna get these out before they completely cool down, because I don't want a lot of condensation building up on the cakes. So we do want to get them out before they cool down. So that's good. Just going to grab a little cooling rack, and then you just want to flip it upside down. Give it a little shake, and look at that. Perfect. Same thing for this one. Just give it a flip. And there we have it. And I can just get my hand right on it, flip it up, and then just gently remove it. And there we have our cakes. And oh, these are really, really nice. So now that my cakes have cooled, I want to do a little decorating. And you can see the parchment paper here. I'm just going to just gently peel that right off. Perfect. And then you got our cake on here. That looks good. So what I'm going to frost the inside of my cake with is right here. Let me just move this. This here is a whipped chocolate ganache. There is 1 cup of dark chocolate, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and there's also 1 cup of whipping cream, 35% cream. I did do a video a little while ago. I will put a link to it underneath this video. Click on it and you can go right to this video, and you'll see me making this exact whipped chocolate ganache. And this here I call my fake chocolate mousse, because it has all of the same elements as a chocolate mousse. It's just that I incorporated them in a different way. I'm going to get some of this on here, and then I'm just going to start getting this all spread out nicely. And that looks good. I'm going to remove my paper, and then I want to get that right on there. Center it nicely, and that looks good. Just give it a little push, and then I just want to go around and clean up all of these edges, and I think that looks pretty good. For my last step, I'm going to cover my cake with a really nice chocolate ganache. If you want to see how that recipe is made, I'll put a link underneath this video in the description box. I'm just going to get that right on there. And I do have parchment paper underneath just to catch all of the drippings. I'll just grab a spatula, and hopefully the camera's picking up how nice this is. Oh, it smells amazing. Just push it right over. And it doesn't matter if it completely covers all the sides. Just give it a little push. Look at that. Whoa. This is going to be a nice thick layer. A little bit more. And I'm not worried how much I put on, because I can just pick it up from the paper after we've finished. And then you can just put it back in your container and reuse it. Now this would pour a lot easier if it was warmer. My ganache right now is at room temperature, so it's thicker, but you can heat it up a little bit and that will just make it drip a lot faster. But it's also going to make a much thinner coating on the top of your cake and around the sides as well. Just going to tap it a little bit. There we go, perfect. So let me just give this a little spin, and I think I've done a good job, and that looks really nice. So just the tapping just evens it out, makes it a little bit more smooth. And that right now is ready just to let that set. You can pop that into your fridge and let it chill down. That's what I'm gonna do because this is gonna take a long time if I don't. And I do want to show you a slice from this cake. This is an amazing cake. This is going to be a cake that you're really going to want to try. Very, very rich and moist. Just amazing. That's all I can say about it. So at this point, I'm going to pop this into my fridge, let it chill down, and then later on I'm going to come back and we're going to take a slice. So this is a few hours later. I did put my cake in the fridge for about a half an hour just so that the chocolate ganache on the top set up. But now we're ready to cut into our really nice cake. I'm just going to clean off my knife. And then our second slice. And let's see how we did. Oh, look at that. I'll get that right on our plate. Move this over a little bit. Oh, that smells really amazing. Let me zoom in. Now that we're zoomed in, you can see how nice this cake is. Hopefully the camera is picking up that really nice tender crumb of that dark chocolate cake. We have our whipped chocolate ganache in the middle, and then another layer of our moist ultra dark chocolate cake, and then on top we have that dark chocolate ganache. Let me just turn this a little bit just to show you this a little better. This is a super moist cake. And of course the last thing to do, I'm gonna try a little piece. Oh my. That was really good. I cannot tell you how good this cake is. If you're looking for an ultra dark chocolate cake recipe, I really hope that you try this recipe out. It's amazing. I just can't describe how good it is. So that's it for today's really fun video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. That's it for today, and I'll see you next time. That cake is so good, you don't even need frosting. And please subscribe to my Bake Like a Pro YouTube channel and also click that notification bell to be alerted every time I upload a brand new video.